Live from PATV Studios, it's the Lyle Style Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, Lyle Style.
Hey, welcome to a beautiful edition of the Lyle Style Show. We're here with our wonderful guest. I mean, she's a beautiful person. She's a model. She's a karaoke singer. Oh my goodness, she's an actress. I mean, she's everything. She's a co-host. Oh my goodness, she's a jack of everything. I want to introduce everybody to my good friend Elwie. She's a co-host of Educational Change, which comes on PATV on which is it, Wednesdays or Wednesdays?
It's on Mondays.
On Mondays. Yep. And welcome Elwie to the show. I appreciate you coming on, talking to Lyle Style.
Thank
How you
you.
doing?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Don't be quiet on my show now.
And thank you for adding that I am a karaoke attendee.
Yeah, karaoke singer. And who co-hosts karaoke with you?
It's Trenton. Mm-hmm. Trenton, who's working the cameras.
Yes, Trenton. My producer?
Trenton, yes.
He's a karaoke singer?
Yes, he
we have to talk about that later on.
He's a phenomenal singer, too.
We're going to get some juicy stuff about him. Wow. He gave me a dirty look, yes. Yeah, he really gave me a dirty look, like, Lyle, don't start this, man. I'll burn that DVD. This will never air. But, hey, I just want to thank you for the show. I was talking to you a while back ago, and you were so fascinating. You got a fascinating story about what you do. And now, where are you originally from?
I am originally from the Philippines.
And
I moved here when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
With not a lick of English.
My girl, what? Are you serious? You speak better English than I do.
Oh, actually, when I was 10, my parents wanted to make sure that we were acclimated to this place, America. Right. And so they spoke only English at home. And I wanted to perfect it so I can gain friends.
Right.
And so
and you probably have a whole lot of friends.
I sure do.
Oh, young lady, my
Thank
goodness.
you, Mom and Dad.
Yes, Mom and Dad. Shout out to Mom and Dad.
Seriously.
Did a good job with you. But and so you grew up in what state?
I grew up here in Iowa.
In
Iowa City.
Really?
I went to Lincoln Elementary School and went to Northwest Junior High and then on to West High School. Yeah.
And what you do in West High School? Was you in academics, or what was your thing out there?
Sure, I was known to be on the dance team, which actually my first year we were called the drill team.
Oh,
and
yes.
And it then later on changed to the dance team. We became more of performers in jazz and palms. So.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! You probably got first place, didn't you, girl?
We did actually my first year.
Really?
in jazz. Okay. It was when Britney Spears came out, and so we did a whole routine.
Which one?
Baby One More Time, of course.
One more time. Ooh, girl.
Pop culture became such a big thing.
Yes, you had to wear those outfits and everything like that.
Yeah.
It was, was she in the school?
Yes, in the school setting,
outfits,
right?
Yeah.
They're within lockers.
Yes, yes. Oh wow, is that on YouTube? We can maybe check that one out right there.
It could possibly be in. Yeah, I believe
everything
it
else
might
is on
be.
there. Yes, but okay. So you went to school out here. You went to West High. Is it West High? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You graduated and stuff, and so. What college did you go to? You go to a college out here? Or?
I did not. So I actually was very fortunate and was founded by a sales company who, took me under their wing and trained me to become an interior decorator.
Interior decorator.
But at the time I was only in my early 20s, so I wanted to explore. I tried it for a few months or so, excelled, and I learned so much, but at the same time, I wanted to explore and reach out to different, just a different place, a different setting,
right.
A different pace. I wanted that for sure for myself. So I ended up moving to California.
Oh, really? Okay, then how long was you in California with?
How old?
How long was you?
Oh, how long? I was there for about 7 years.
Oh, that's long enough to make some network and make some people, meet people. And
absolutely. Yes, my first couple of years was definitely a struggle, but even then I was making my connections and networking as well. In fact, I went out there with every intentions of just kind of gaining a new perspective in life, and I wanted to explore LA and what it has to offer, in which at the time Moss and Company, which is a property management company, they hired me as one of their property management assistants.
Oh, assistant.
And so I was showing places out there, and I also ended up getting a weekend job at a restaurant called The Lantern.
The Lantern. Okay, was that one of those quasi, cool restaurants, or one of those fancy restaurants?
It wasn't
stars?
actually. It was but it was known to pull in a lot of the stars from back in the day. And so it was one of those diners. I think it was built sometime in the 50s, 1950s.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so, in fact, they do a lot of filming there now.
Oh, do they really?
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was super fun. But through it all, the whole time I was working at these jobs, people would ask me, "Oh, are you an actress?" And they would ask me that very common question. And so I planted a seed in my head, and I started thinking about, oh, what is this all about?
Right.
So someone had suggested that I, try out for doing background work, which it's where you just walk back and forth in front of the camera.
Yes, I got a story about that too. I got a story about background work.
Yeah, actually,
myself.
I have many as well.
Okay.
And so I was, I thought it was a good idea. It was nice extra pocket change for me as well.
And what you in? And did you work in any type of movies doing the background?
I did. So my very first set was a Disney movie made for TV. It's called Starstruck.
Starstruck. Okay. Note to self. Okay. Google Starstruck. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Starstruck. In fact, the scene that I am in is actually on YouTube as well, and it's called Starstruck. I think the video is called Shades.
Shades, okay,
yes.
Okay. Shades.
So the scene was that we were at a party, and it was the main character's birthday party. It was her coming out party, and her best friend was performing for her, who performs a song called Shades.
Oh, okay.
So that was the premise of that filming day. And I get there, and they pull us into what they call a holding cell, and this holding cell holds literally hundreds of background people. Okay. People in this party.
Right.
And so we're sitting down, they put me in this sparkly dress, and they cover up my tattoos because it's Disney.
Right,
And we're sitting, and an assistant to the director, the head assistant to the director, walks in with his script rolled up, and he said, "What are y'all doing sitting here?" And my instant reaction was to stand up right away. So I stood up, and he let out a big sigh. He said, "Sparkles, come with me." And so
Sparkles, that's your nickname, girl.
It was my nickname all day that day and all night. We filmed forever, a scene that day. Anyhow, so he took me over to the set, which was another building. It was actually the Roxy, which is on Hollywood Boulevard. And so we get to the actual set, and he said to me, "Okay, I want you to stand here," which was the VIP section of this party. And so I'm standing there, and all of a sudden this little woman, 5'1", maybe 4'11", she comes running up, and I later found out that she was the set director. And she said, "What is she doing here?" And I'm standing there. I have no experience in this at all whatsoever. Obviously, I got called out by the assistant to the director to go with him, and I'm thinking the whole time I'm doing something wrong because it's just me out of the hundreds of people who were in this holding cell. So anyhow, she said, "What is she doing here? I need you to move." And I'm standing there, just like in shock. I don't know what to do exactly. So that same assistant to the director. AD is what they call him. That same AD came up to me and he puts his arms around me. He said, "Come with me. You're going to go in front of the stage." So I get up in front of the stage, and I'm like, okay, well, I feel at peace now, knowing that this is like a place where I'm supposed to be. They didn't want me to stand in the VIP section because I had the same dress as the main character.
The main character.
We both had sparkly dresses on.
Okay.
So
you could be the lead person then. Hey.
So we're going through the whole set, and the performer comes out with shades, and he's throwing it at the audience. Well, the whole time he's throwing it at the woman who is standing right next to me. And I say woman because she's probably right now in her mid-30s. So anyhow, she was catching it the whole time, and I, was excited for her. And that same AD, the man who connected with me right away, stopped us within like 3 hours of being there. We had been filming for 3 hours.
Oh, wow, that's a long time.
And he stopped the whole set and he said, "Okay, I would like to add to the scene." And I don't know if you guys know this, but adding a scene to a movie is thousands and thousands of dollars. Minutes is thousands of dollars in big movies like that, especially for Disney. And so so the pressure was on. So he said, "I'd like to get a close-up of the person who catches the pair of sunglasses."
Oh, okay.
And so we're all thinking it's the woman who's standing right next to me.
Right.
And so we're like, "Oh my gosh, exciting, how exciting for you." And he said, "Who am I going to pick?" And he goes, "Sparkles." And points right at me.
So he had you okay, oh my goodness, girl.
So my first day on set, I get picked to catch a pair of sunglasses. So I don't just stand there and look pretty. I literally have to catch a pair of sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
And of course this man next to me who was, I think at the time, a little sour about, not catching the pair of sunglasses, he leans over and he whispers in my ears and he said, "Just so you know, if you don't catch this, they probably won't put it in the movies. They probably won't use that scene." And I'm like, okay.
Oh, he's trying to get you. Oh, you a hater. You had a hater there too? Oh, girl, you had a hater back in those days.
And everyone starved. It was during lunch, and everyone just wanted to go out for lunch. And so anyhow, we went through the scene, and I ended up catching the pair of sunglasses. It took one take.
Good.
That AD took his script. He threw it on the ground. He said, "I knew it."
I knew you was the one.
I knew it.
You was the one.
He jumped off of the stage, put his arms around me. He said, "Everyone go to lunch." And there's hundreds of us there. He said, "Everyone go to lunch." And he said, "Kid, you're in the movies."
Ooh.
It was super special.
That's how, wait. So that's how you got your first start, really?
Well, it was the first time that I ever felt the passion really just kind of boil in me. And the fire to be engulfed in that creative, setting or venture. And so after that, I thought, wow, what would it take for me to do more projects or things like this where I'm on set and I feel the energy and absorb it all? So fortunately, another assistant, or what they call AD, came up to me later on that evening during one of our scenes, and he tapped on my shoulders and he said, "Hey, would you be interested in auditioning for a comedy on stage?"
Okay,
a comedy play on stage. And I'd never done a comedy anything besides making silly jokes here and there that no one laughs at.
Okay. Did you make a joke for Trenton?
Trenton's much better at it than I am.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Okay. Trenton, you have to
same with singing.
You have to tell a joke, Trenton. Okay.
We'll have him on the show later, singing.
Hey, man, we're putting you on the spot, man. I'm sorry. It's our producer got to put him on the spot.
So yes, he invited me to audition for this stage play, and it's called oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll think of the name in a little bit, but anyhow, I went and auditioned for it, got the part, met again, another network of people who were
Ooh,
moving and
different kind of
shaking
network,
in the business. And so everything just kind of, it was a domino effect from there on.
That first domino hit, that domino, and then from there, it snowballed.
And then I ended up, working on some films that are actually out on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
One of them, or a couple of them, I'm still waiting to hear on
because you have one that's on there. But I'm okay, getting back to that Disney thing, was Disney. Now, did you meet any Disney stars? Did you meet any, anybody from Disney, like, that's on Disney Channel?
I would say that not so much maybe now. You might see them from time to time, but Disney actors and actresses, they kind of go through them. There's they go through them so quickly. And this was 7 years ago.
Okay, so
nowadays, I don't know that you would see some
Justin
of these.
Bieber?
No, I don't even think he was popular at the time.
No,
I don't know if he was born.
Yeah, right. He was 7 years ago. He was on YouTube. That probably 7 years ago. That's how he got started on YouTube. But
exactly.
Not Britney Spears.
No, there was. There were some actors that most would probably recognize that were in the movie, and I actually got to connect with them a little bit. In fact, the band also I connected with quite well. I ended up going to one of their shows later on, months later, and connected with one of Chris Brown, who's in it. Not Chris Brown, not the rapper.
I'm about to get up on that one right there. Chris Brown, the rapper.
Indie poppy, Disney. Anyhow, just kind of made some friends through
made
that.
Friends, show business is a fickle type of thing, It's not, truthfully, it's not what you do, it's who you know that opens up those doors for you to do your thing, So you was in Cal for 7 years, doing your thing, networking. So you get a chance to meet some different people on the show. And now the other movie that we was talking about earlier before we started taping is like a horror movie that's on Netflix. Now, when did you do that one? And what's the name of it?
That was much later. It was my last year in LA. I had been working with a good friend of mine who is constantly making low-budget films and is always on the film market, the film circuit. Anyhow, he and I were working on documentaries, and we had been working on this one movie that was supposed to be shot in Palm Desert, in Coachella Valley. It was called Coachella.
Okay, Coachella.
So it was
the name
supposed
of the
to be
valley.
about, it's one of those like really campy, like I Know What You Did Last Summer type movies where, all of the characters get killed during this event. So
so you get killed look at what you said. You understand what she's talking about, don't you, Trent?
And so we were working on that, but the producers and the investors in that movie were working on side projects, and so they invited me into a set, which, by the way, I ended up directing that that TV show in development. Later, that was much later on that year. But anyhow, I was invited to go on this TV show in development. It was supposed to hit the local networks in Palm Springs.
Okay.
So as I was, on the set, the man who was directing it, he ended up being called over to go work on Iron Man 3 at the time. Not as a director, but definitely work on the set of that.
Oh, the Iron Man 3? That's a blockbuster.
It is.
Marvel Comics, oh, wow. That was a big deal right there.
It really was. Yeah, we were super proud of him. His name's Damien Brewer is his name, and you can find him on YouTube. He's amazing. Okay. Anyhow, Damien and I ended up working well together, and he showed me essentially how to direct and just how to run a whole set. So I started working for this woman who was producing the show and also the star of the show.
Okay.
She was the host, and she's an author, an actress, a producer, you name it. Wow. She's a jack of all trades. So anyhow, she really helped groom me, truly, my last year in LA. And so she was also working on side projects and asked for me to come in to this movie project called The American Poltergeist.
Okay. So the American Portuguese. So we would think that it's about Portuguese. Is that the premise of the show?
It is. It actually follows the Lizzie Borden story.
Yeah.
Which, if you Google Lizzie Borden,
yeah, we know Lizzie Borden, the hatchet lady with the
the axe, the 41 times, 31.
Ooh.
So, but at the time, HBO was coming out with a show with Nicole. I don't know who.
Nicole Kidman?
Not Kidman. Richie.
Oh, Nicole Richie. Yeah,
Not
right.
Nicole Richie. It's gosh, I'm sorry that I'm drawing a blank here as far as.
But she's an actress, though.
Anyhow, they were coming out with a show which is out now on HBO, and it was called The Lizzie Borden.
Oh, okay. So they had to change.
So they had to change the name. For the longest time, it was called The Lizzie Borden House.
Okay.
So they changed the name, but anyhow, I play a college student. It is again one of those very campy. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream movies. I played a college student named Amy. It's a small part, but it was a very fun part to do. I get to die in front of the camera. And
okay. Ooh. Now, who killed you?
Lizzie Borden, essentially. She was the one who was killing everybody in the house. So
my goodness.
Watch the movie. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. We have to watch it. The American Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
American Portuguese. That's the name. That's okay. On Netflix. We have to check that out. But and
it didn't take very long to film it. Yeah, but it took very long to. It was the pre-production and the post-production were the times that really. Yeah. Took forever, it seems.
Editing, yeah.
It was 7 years ago, and it just came out on Netflix, I think, this year.
Wow.
I got a call from one of my friends and said, "Hey, I just saw you on Netflix." I said, "Oh, what movie?"
What movie?
I had to ask what movie.
You've been in so many different ones, yeah. So
he said, "It's this," and I laughed because in it I'm wearing like a swimming suit, bottom and a t-shirt, and so I'm like, "Oh, great! It's a movie where I'm wearing a swimming suit."
Oh, wow. Okay, everybody's gonna watch that movie. Okay, that's fascinating, and it didn't take that long to do the movie.
It didn't. In fact, it was like a couple of weeks, but they might have had some inserts in it too. I know for a fact that one of my scenes, they had to insert the scene because something went wrong with production during the time that we were filming. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We had been filming all day. Ooh. And so something went wrong, and so the next day we had to reshoot one of my scenes. So I ended up, they actually added it again. Okay,
I'm a Netflix, okay. Note to self, Netflix, okay. American Portuguese, gotta get that in my head. Now, you didn't know this a little bit about me quickly, because I was in a movie with Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones. People don't realize this. Awesome. Called Fields of Dreams. I was an extra in that movie, Fields of Dreams. I had hair on my head, so you wouldn't recognize I had hair on my head. I had a little afro, but I don't know if I got cut apart, but I was in a movie where I was in a coffee house or in a delicatessen, and I was supposed to act like I'm eating. Well, I kept eating the real props. They said, "Cut, sir, you're not supposed to eat this." But damn, I'm hungry. So we had about 3 or 4 takes, and they finally said, "Oh no, we're gonna stop this guy from doing this." So they put a phony sandwich in there, and I tried to bite it. I couldn't get it, so it took about 3 or 4 takes because I had to have that. I had to have it though. But I was in that series, American Fields of Dreams. I've never seen it, but I don't know if I'm in it. I don't know if I'm on whatever. But that was one of the scenes I was in. And then, like you said, those walk-ons when you walk around. I was walking around the town, walking like I was walking, looking at shopping, whatever. So all that type of. But I had hair on my head though. But I know what you're talking about. It was very funny. And and think about it, you eat and you get paid for it.
Yes, you do.
Sure.
I actually did quite a bit of those. I was a lot on House, the show House.
Oh yeah.
And
House.
Scrubs was another.
Scrubs? Oh.
Yes. In fact,
so
they invited
that's why you look
me.
familiar.
They invited me so many times. The ADs would call me personally. Now, when you're in that group, or if you're a member to this this casting, like for background, what a lot of people have to do is they have to call this number, and then hope that someone picks up. And if someone picks up, if you fit the part, then you get to come on set and work. Otherwise, you don't. If you don't fit the part or if they don't answer the phones. Well, they would save my number and they would call me themselves. So I didn't have to do much of that, which was like an extra work. So
that's wonderful.
I lucked out completely. Scrubs and House was one. I was also on Heroes, the very first ones with Hayden Panettiere.
Oh, yeah.
Those were fun. Those were super
You didn't tell me.
fun.
Okay. We only got 5 minutes, but we're gonna come back with you. Okay, so how many times was you on that? Because I love that show, and how in the heck did they do those special effects? Did you get a chance to see anything?
There is a scene where there was an earthquake that happens, and so of course, post-production does it all, but some of it is from us, and so of course you would act like there was an earthquake,
right,
and then they would reset the whole set and make it look like there was an earthquake. But that was super fun. Actually, the guy who, and I'm sorry that I don't know his name, but he's in This Is Us.
This is
Which is a really big show that's out right now, and it's a very popular and great show. You should watch it. The main guy in that, he's the father. He was he was in Heroes.
Okay.
At one point, I was walking in front of the camera, and he planned this. He scared me. He came running and charging towards me, and he grabbed me. He goes, "Ha!" And as a background artist, that just, to have that kind of interaction with a main character on those sets, you're like, you're already kind of,
you're
intimidated. So
you're one of us now. Oh,
it was super fun.
That was okay, Dad.
Those were some really good times for me. Like I said, I lucked out. I was also in As the World Turns.
A soap opera?
A soap opera.
Oh, girl.
There were a couple of those that I went to. In fact, at one point I thought I was going to be a regular, but I had moved. It was when I started doing filming with the production company that I worked for. So I actually kind of left that whole.
Okay, you might be the regular on As the World Turns back in the day.
I thought I would have been had I stayed probably in the area had I stayed connected.
I didn't see you on television. Say, I know it's that girl from. Hey, now come on now. Did you die in that show? Stop dying. You go back to how they
I don't know why. I'm always typecasted in usually they typecast me as a hot girl
I wonder why. Why would they do something like that? Why would they actually put you in that type of character?
College student or something who
Why
dies.
would they put you? Why would they do that to Trent? Why would they put her in that type of character as a beautiful woman? I don't know. Wow. Okay, Trent. I don't know why they do. They always say, okay, we got 2 minutes left. But we're going to come back with you in the second half of the show because we got some more stories that you got to share with us. And also, we got to talk about how you got started with Education Exchange and when you came back to Iowa, and also your modeling career that you got. Because we got some photos of her modeling. And, we're going to be back with her, with this young lady. We got 2 minutes left, but you know what? I want to ask you one more question before we go off. Now you did a little bit of shows. Have you been doing theater?
I had been actually during the time that I lived in Studio City, which was I think my 3rd year or 4th year in LA. I had been learning the guitar, the acoustic guitar. Through YouTube. And so while I was learning, I would sit out on my porch and I would sing, and I really wanted to learn the guitar because ultimately I just wanted to sing.
Yeah.
So I would learn my 3 chords and sing, and the director Michael Leone, he had been working on a musical play that was going on stage in LA, and so he came around the corner and he said, "Was that a radio?" It was the best compliment I'd ever gotten, actually. And so
he said 30 seconds. Oh my! He just okay. We you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna come back. We're gonna finish that a little bit, and we're gonna talk about your karaoke career too. We're gonna talk a little bit about that because I'm interested to know who your karaoke partner was and how good y'all was doing karaoke. So you know what? I want to thank you for being on. We're going to come back with you, second half of the Lyle Style Show. I want y'all to, follow your dreams, follow everything. And I'll see you next time on the Lyle Style Show. Peace.